live. We did
Woohoo.
it.
All right.
Woo!
Woo! It's
Hey,
success.
yes. Um, Dave, awesome to see you.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving Eve.
You guys. Oh, yeah, it is. It's Thanksgiving Eve today. That's so crazy.
It is nuts.
These holidays, they just they sneak up on you.
Well, and Thanksgiving is late this year, so don't forget that there's what, 2 weeks till Christmas now?
Oh, geez.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Is it 2 weeks? I think it is.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Oh, phew.
3 weeks.
three
Yeah.
weeks. Ah, then we're good.
It's not much.
Hey, Wendy, our
Yeah.
exams guru, Jedi, whatever, just like the person with all of the exam knowledge makes it all
Oh,
happen.
I
Which is
wish.
which is crazy sometimes. I mean, you're right. Like you guys have had so many um updates, just continually trying to
Yeah.
make the process better. We'll get
Yeah.
into that. We'll get
I was
into that more.
actually a little nervous about this one because before with paper pencil, I knew everything there was to know. Now it's
Yeah,
like, I hope I have all the answers.
yeah, yeah.
I won't,
Some
but
different moving parts to it too. Few
yeah.
different platforms we're working in, few different names to get familiar with too. So
Yeah. Yeah. And the changes over that we've had, just this year with different companies and
Yeah,
people buying each other,
yeah.
companies.
Hey, I don't want to I want to hold off on that just for a second because there's some super important things I need to talk about. First, I need to recognize Tiffany Roach. Hello, happy early Turkey Day, Tiffany says. So it's good to see you, Tiffany. Thanks for spending Thanksgiving Eve with us. Um, I know, so I have yam duty or sweet potato duty today,
yeah.
just in prep for tomorrow. Wendy, what do you have? Are you so we are hosting this year, my in-laws. What do you have going on, Wendy?
Well, my daughter has a bigger house than I do. So she is hosting it and I am cooking everything except for the most important, which is the turkey. And my son-in-law is going to be smoking that apparently. And my daughter does the pies. So I got potatoes, corn,
Okay.
yams, the fun stuff.
Have you started that? What's your plan of
No.
attack? Okay.
Plan of attack is, oh my goodness, it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
I said I hate short weeks because I have a 3-day work week with 5 days worth of work. So, it's kind of crazy that way. But
Yeah. It's always a big deal cooking for Thanksgiving too.
yeah, I
No
know
matter if it's just a few people or a big group, I mean, it's just so much.
it is. You have to
We're
have the house clean.
yeah.
Dave, what are
Oh,
you doing?
Yeah.
I'm still up in Mount Shasta. So family's a little far. I'm gonna go see him for Christmas. So I'm sort
Oh,
of planning my holidays that way, but we're actually doing kind of a community Thanksgiving up here.
oh,
And
that's cool.
yeah, we're gonna start cooking it this evening and just well, it's gonna be on Saturday, so it's not gonna be tomorrow. We're gonna let
Yeah,
everybody do their own thing, but then there's a lot of
yeah,
people in this community that just don't have places to go, don't have
yeah.
family, have a lot of them are homeless too. So
Oh,
it's a good opportunity to just
that's awesome.
me and some friends were just gonna put together this big kind of feast, banquet, um, provide it all for free and just yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm really excited about it. So that's what I'm doing for Thanksgiving. But
I think I would love doing like when I retire, I would love to just volunteer. That sounds like so much fun. Like just making
yeah,
somebody else smile makes me smile.
yeah.
I always
And
tell people when they're depressed about things, I'm like, go serve somebody because it really makes you feel better. So,
yeah, you forget about your own problems for a minute and then you
yeah,
realize, I mean, you're just so grateful too when you realize that, there's a little we just have it so good, you know.
yeah, we
Yeah.
do.
All
We
around.
absolutely do. I do. I mean, not that all of us don't have problems and issues that come up and have stuff to deal with, but yeah, for the most part, my life has been very blessed. And I think
Yeah,
since it's Thanksgiving, I am thankful for that.
exactly. It's
I'm
that time
curious,
of year.
Dave, you kicked the meat,
I
right? Are
keep
you
the meat.
still,
I
and
did.
are you having a tofu turkey? Like,
I wish I could show you this the stuff that we have planned. That's all so it's all vegan, But if
Oh,
you
wow.
do it and you didn't know it was vegan, you wouldn't know that all of it was plant-based. You would have no idea. The
Come
stuff that
on.
we're making is
Turkey and
so
everything.
good. Well, okay, so there's
I'm like, come on.
you can season different types of protein really well. Like there's these people that are really good at it. I've had these amazing Arby's beef and cheddar sandwiches that aren't
What?
beef at all and aren't cheddar at all, but they taste well, in my opinion, they taste better than the original. But I'm like, this is incredible. There's so
Yeah.
many good equivalents or things that you can swap out. And
You
then
know,
if
I
you're
think
right,
that's true.
yeah,
If
Yeah.
you have, especially if you have somebody else cooking it, I could probably eat it. If I came home every day and it was cooked, I'd eat it.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
don't care
and
what it is.
it's the process, right? It's like there maybe are a couple extra steps or you swap out a few things, but once you start down that road, it's really not that different.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's pretty cool. But I'm on mashed potato duty, so those my mashed potatoes are always vegan either way. Butter,
Mashed
Uh,
potato, do you put butter
vegan
on
butter.
them?
Yeah, I
I
do. Oat milk
Okay,
butter.
good.
Okay,
Oat
I
milk
was
butter
gonna
is
say
really
butter
good.
makes everything better. So you could just dump that on your tofu
And
Exactly.
and
just eat it. I agree with you, Alex. I 100% agree. My mother taught me to cook with butter. My daughter was watching me cook eggs one day. Just a whole scoop of butter. And she's like, you don't need that much butter. I'm like, that's how my mom taught me to cook it. So, and it tastes good.
hey,
Exactly. I'm a huge
we I want to just let our guests know we will get to exams. I posted in the Facebook group about 15 minutes ago saying, "Hey, Wendy is on. Bring your hardest questions." We
Oh,
will get to that.
Alex.
Well, because you are a problem solver. That's just part of your role. It's what you
Ugh.
do,
I do love to
and
solve
you're great at
problems.
it.
That doesn't mean I have the answers yet.
I have a question for you guys. One of the first things I did this morning was looked at my Black Friday ads. Are you guys shoppers? Do you guys is there anything you're looking for a special deal this over the next few days?
I like to go out and see people fight. I don't care if I get anything. I just like to go out and people watch. That's my thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. There was one year I went out and I did some Black Friday shopping. It was like probably 2012.
Hmm.
And after that time, it was one of the like late night or
Yeah.
into the morning type experiences. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, now that I've done that, I don't think I want to ever do
Yeah.
that again.
I'm getting too old for that
But
stuff anyway.
it is really entertaining though. As
I
long as there's no
know.
snow in the traffic, right? Like if you could take away some of those things, I do love being out and shopping. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
during the
you can do
holidays.
it virtually now, guys. Like, is
The
there
that's
anything
not
that you're
fun.
like Dave? Are you looking for a new screwdriver or power saw or anything?
Yeah, a space heater so I don't freeze to death.
Oh, there
Just
you go.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Yeah,
Seriously, you're
I'm
gonna
looking for all
freeze.
the deals on all the space heaters, blankets, whatever.
Well,
We'll
No, I
get
don't
you
have
one of
anything to
those
find in
electric
particular.
blankets.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
exactly. What about
we
you,
have
Alex?
I browsed around. There are a couple things that have my eye. Like once a year, I'm like, now's the time to reload on whatever,
New
whatever
TVs.
things, new TV. Yes, I need more. I need less TVs. But just for our viewers, our Black Friday deals have kicked off. I'm just going to read off a few, and one of
Yes.
them, at least one, apply to the discussion today. Get a free study guide and practice exams with an exam purchase, plus save an extra $100 on going in fully prepared with exam code exam all capital and then number
Yeah.
100.
Yeah. So that means you're getting your study guide.
Okay.
You're getting your 3 practice exams, which, mind you, are on the same platform as our exam is, which is freaking awesome. I'm so stoked about that. And the exam, and it's $100 less than it's going to be in December, which you're already getting all that stuff for free.
Okay.
So yeah, it's killer deal.
Awesome.
And they are only offering it, I think it's until the 30th, and then it's gone. Like, I would be surprised if this deal ever comes up again.
Okay.
So I mean, You'll still have your December promo, right? Which is buy the exam and get all that stuff for free. But this is $100 off of that. So that's crazy.
All right. I am in the CPC exam chat in our group popped up, and Carly just asked, can someone post the link for the bundle of deals going on right now? And Carly, if you're watching, Carolee, if you're watching, I'll throw that in there. A couple of the other promos: take 50% off select certification training, and the books are free. Another, get as low as 0% financing on all credential courses.
Yeah, and
And
those will be in emails. They are, I think they were sent last week and then again Monday. So if you
Okay.
do a search
Okay.
for Black Friday
It's all in
AAPC,
there.
you'd probably find them. Yep.
Okay. And of course, HealthCon, we've got to save $500 in 2020, or Orlando in 2025, our conference. There.
Orlando. I
Yeah.
want to go. I want to go with you, Alex, so we can hold hands down through, what was it, Disney
Epcot.
World, and get
Yes.
Epcot
Get
and get
rained on.
rained on. We were sopping wet.
Oh my goodness, that was crazy.
That was fun. That was a
Good
core memory.
Yeah, you guys had a Disney moment. That's
We
cool.
did. Me and
Wait,
Alex.
You hand in hand, like running
No.
through the rain. Oh, to like avoid slippage. Hey, sounds great.
Alex was
Sounds
probably holding me up. So no, we didn't hold hands, but it was
It was
fun.
awesome.
It was actually, yeah.
We tried to hit restaurants in every of the country,
food.
every country.
Yes.
And we just kind of shared. We like buy a couple of things. There's a pretty big group of us. It was
Obviously pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID.
Never be able to do that now. I would, but
yeah. You can, if you go to aapc.com, there's a link to the webpage. Just look for the Black Friday image at the top of the page. So
yep.
Got that going on. All right. Well, exams. We got a lot of evolution. We talked about this a lot, and I always think it's helpful just for our members to see where we've come from since the time of the pandemic, to see how we've evolved and continue to evolve. So maybe, Wendy, give us a little bit of history about how exams have changed over the past 5 or so years.
Well, pre-COVID, we were doing specifically paper pencil. Everything was going great, and then COVID hit. And of course, everybody was getting sick or not wanting to be with each other, to avoid that. So we had a lot of exams that were canceling, people that couldn't become certified. And that, it's our livelihoods. So we were really concerned with that. So the exam team, love them, jumped in. We decided to go what members from years past have been saying, get in the 20th century and start putting your exams electronic, and we kind of fought that for a while, actually. And then COVID hit and we're like, okay, now's the time to jump that cliff, so we just jumped and we scrambled and tried to get everything the way we could get it done. It was part 1 and part 2 in Blackboard, and that was okay. That got us through. And then we went with Examity fully, and Examity and Measure were kind of together. I think Measure purchased Examity, and then so that was kind of a merging time then, had to update everything then. The exams were only live remote, and then paper pencil was at the local chapters. Then we decided to go all electronic and have all of our exams at a testing center or at home with the live remote proctored exam. And that still, the proctoring was still with Examity. That was the first of this year. So in September, Measure, because Measure had owned Examity, they kind of Examity, I don't know if they went away, but they weren't using Examity. So then we went to what is now called ProctorU, which is a live remote proctored exam that is proctored by a live proctor via the computer. And that's where we sit right now. There's been, a lot of changes, of course, and a lot of bumps lots of bumps,
Yeah.
lots of learning. We listen, we really listen. Matter of fact, yeah, it's almost sad because I'm like laying in bed. I should be getting paid overtime because I just lay in bed and think, oh my gosh, we should do this. We should do this. We should change this. It's like, can AAPC fork me out some more money because I'm working overtime. But
Yeah.
so that's kind of where we stand right now is with Proctor U, and it's a lot of changes, and it's more bumps and hills and ups and downs. So, but we're working.
And ultimately, I mean, the goal is to make it more accessible, make it
Hmm.
convenient, make it more,
Right.
like you said, state of the art, like keeping up with the times and how we should be doing these things anyway. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
And Dave,
it's been a lot.
honestly, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm going to. So if I get fired, I guess I don't get overtime. I'll come live with you, Dave, in the trailer.
That's cool. Yeah, there's room. We can get a big old camp.
But our pass rate has gone up since we did electronic exams. And I was really kind of shocked. I was like, no way. I wanted to go in and see it. And it has. And I think it's because it's all right here, right? And you don't have to worry about your grid or shipping it in or anything like that. And our results are almost instantaneous. I mean, there are going to be times that we are reviewing everything and it might take 5 days, but right now most of our exams are almost within a couple of hours of taking your exam. So not like the old days, right, where it was like 6 weeks before you even knew if you passed. So it's good. I mean,
But
it's really good.
we still say 7 to 10 business days, right?
We
We should,
do. So what I'm trying to do is kind of change that wording, and you'll see it coming out, but it is still 7 to 10 days, um, because there are going to be times that we have reviews on the content or anything like that, which will stop the grading until it's ready to be released. But when we're feeling good and we're not doing updates and a bunch of stuff, then it goes a lot quicker. So I have actually gotten people that asked, well, are you sure it's graded right? Because I got it in 2 hours. Yes, it's graded right. Everything looks good. It's just at that point where we were at in grading, it was quick.
yeah.
First of the year, it slows down.
I think that's probably tough for those who see I'm just talking about those in the group. Hey, I got my exam result back in a couple hours or
Hmm.
the same day, and then someone may not have that same experience. But it doesn't mean that we've forgotten you. You haven't seen it.
Right.
I'm sure, Wendy, there are once the grade or the exam is complete for that member, do they get an email or something saying how would they know that the exam is in a grading process?
So it shows on the website. So you can go log in and it will show you the status that it's in. Um, the statuses are kind of different now because it used to be in process, in transit, you know, grading, and then the score. Now it's just grading. And it literally, the minute you close and hit that submit exam, it starts grading through the process. It's it's phenomenal how all of that works and so incredibly accurate. I am crazy about that.
Good. Yeah, I think echoing what Alex was saying, I think that's important for, even people watching to understand that about our exams is that you're not just, doing this thing online and some computers just
Yeah. Oh, no.
checking it and then you get a result, right?
I
There's a lot
wish.
more, yeah, there's a lot more hand-holding that goes into it, which
Yes.
also tells you we really care about the accuracy and
Oh,
and the success and our student success too, because we want to make sure that they're getting credit for things that maybe, I don't know,
yeah. Yeah.
quite look right. But then there's also, aren't there fill in the blank? Is there fill in the blank
Some of the
questions or
exams have
parts
fill
that
in
have
the
to be manually
blanks.
graded still?
Yeah, the CIC is a manually graded, and we're working on that process too. I know that we kind of was teasing last year about open-ended questions, I think is what they called
Yeah,
it, or fill in the blank.
yeah.
And we're still working on that. We didn't want to release it until it was nailed down and we could not worry about any grading issues or and the CIC is going really good. So I think, probably 2025, you'll start seeing a few of the exams with that.
I want to address that because Dave and I we had Catherine Abel on 2 weeks ago, and we talked about
Hmm.
that a little bit. And that is such a hot topic. Tiffany Roach asked about the fill in the blanks. She's watching now. Um, Catherine said other priorities have come up, and
Hmm.
so we can't even put a solid date on it
No,
at all.
no,
But it will not just pop up on
right.
people's exams, and
For
we're
sure.
we will have beta testers before we
Yep.
step into that, so you'll kind of have a clue of when this is happening.
Yeah, we definitely would not just say, okay, it's fill in the blank. We would start preparing our students, our instructors, everything that's involved. I mean, it's not just, okay, all of a sudden here's a fill in the blank. I mean, for example, I think there's like 3 questions in each one of the practice exams that are fill in the blank. So we're just kind of testing the waters, just preparing people. But yeah, it would never. I mean, even when I say in 2025, it may be the very end of 2025. It's,
Yeah, we want to get it right if we're
oh,
going to do it.
for
Yeah,
sure.
and we've needed this sort of been trying to get good, solid fill in the blank assessment type
Yeah,
question types for years,
years.
right?
Yeah, it's
Because really
crazy.
that is the best gauge to know, hey, do you know what code this is? Not pick from 4 codes or,
Right.
you know, um,
I don't know. I call it multiple guessing.
yeah.
It's the only way I could do it. I don't know how. Oh, I
So,
can't
hey,
even do that.
I just wanted to clarify for those watching, we're talking specifically about the CPC exam. Wendy, it sounds like the CIC exam and maybe other exams have had fill in the blank questions on there already. That has
Yeah,
been a thing for a time.
the CIC has fill in the blanks, and
Okay.
it has been that way from the beginning of the CIC. No, there aren't any other exams currently that have the fill in the blank, but the practice exams do have a few of the fill in the blanks. So I mean, that's good for you to get a good feel on it. So
Yeah. Uh, I want to read this comment from Jennifer Perry. She says, other than the desk being too small for our books and the computer, I had a pretty good testing experience with the testing center. So, and I think you're probably going to find different desk sizes at different measure testing sites. It just depends on how they have it set up.
yeah, we actually are shoring up that as well. So each one of the testing centers has to send us pictures of the desk space. Mind you, that you are not going to have enough room to spread all of those big old honker books out, right? And the other thing is a lot of the exam where the exams are being taken, they have different, it's might be in a college testing center and other examinees are there. So other examinees might use the keyboard, for example, but we don't need the keyboard. So I would push the keyboard completely out of the way and lay my books out in front of me. And they're usually big screen, so you can open a book and lay a book on half and then have another book on the side. But there should be enough room for everybody to take it. And yeah, the testing centers, especially if you're not tech savvy, go to the testing centers, because we'll talk about the electronic exam at live remote at home. It's you have to be prepared. But
Yeah.
What's nice about the testing centers, and I'll mention this, Alex, is that we are doing what are they calling a zip code heat map? Not very technical terms, but what we're doing is we're taking all of the local chapters that we had or have, and we're doing a heat map of where the testing centers are. And if we're missing any, we will start adding those in. We did about 80, I think it was 83% of the individuals of the local chapters. There was 83% of the local chapters. There was a testing center within 50 miles or like it, and then 93 was within 100 miles, or no, an hour, sorry, within an hour. So, I mean, I
Wow.
drive an hour to work every day, so 93% of them were within an hour, which is awesome. Like, and we're making it better, constantly making it better.
Mhm.
So, probably the big percentage of them is those rural areas, Hawaii, uh, you know, Colorado. Just kidding. Like just the rural areas where there was a chapter, but there isn't like a college or a main center. So that's where I think it's good to go in with your LRP or at home testing, but you're going to have to be prepared. So,
Yes.
Yeah. Um, Question, Wendy. Are local chapters still hosting their own tests? Are we still doing that?
no, we have, we've toyed with that since we went
But
electronic,
but we were
but
doing that in person with pencil and scan file.
right,
And then
right.
when we went electronic, we did away with all of the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to
Yeah,
get
and it was really
that.
hard. I think it was hard on, well, it was hard on us, it was hard on the members, and it was hard on the local chapters because they love being involved with that. And as they should, right? Like that's what they're there for, is for that support. Um, and we've talked about the ability to, have a testing center, bring your own computer or whatever, but it's just like if I was a local chapter officer and had to run a test with computers, would be in
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if your computer died? What if it didn't upload what you're supposed to do? It's just so hard. But we still love the support of our local chapters. Absolutely. Like we offered, for them to take exams to give us a experience, like a real life, honest experience of what they had. And it was quite interesting.
Mm, That's cool. Yeah. Lots of feedback. Well, like you
Yeah.
said, we do listen. I mean,
Oh,
that's one of the reasons why you send me, sorry, not you, your team sends me update after update to
yeah.
the tutorial videos and
Yeah.
different information that we really want to help you, our members, be successful.
Oh,
There
yeah.
really is so much to it. And there really is so much that you need to proactively read yourself and understand yourself.
Yes.
It'll make your life so much easier when you go to take the test. I saw a comment in the chat that looked like his name is Ashwin. He's from India and he's taking his CPC exam tomorrow. So
Oh,
Good
yeah.
luck,
good luck
Ashwin.
with that, Ashwin. I recommend just make sure you read everything thoroughly,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
The
Yeah.
instructions that can trip up people and then, you know,
yep. Yep.
mess up your
And
testing
it's
experience.
high stakes and it's nerve wracking.
Well, Kelly Burris says she's just starting with learning remote. She's excited to get through that and get her testing completed. But her question is, can we explain a little bit how home testing with the proctor works? And in our meeting notes for this broadcast,
Hmm.
excuse me, is I have bullets going over
Yes.
each of the steps, and I would love to hit that. We have 30 minutes left, and I'm realizing that time is flying, and
Yeah.
there's so much to cover. But um, to kick this off, Wendy, you
Hmm.
alluded to going over electronic at home versus in the testing center. So can you kind of lead us into that, and then we'll go
Hmm.
into check-in process and chat features and things like that.
Yeah. So the testing center is actually where you take the test still electronically at a testing center. So you leave your house, take your books, go into the testing center. The testing center usually has lockers in there. So, if you want to take a drink or whatever, or, you're carrying your backpack because those books are heavy, you can lock all that stuff in a locker. And then all you can take in is your books, your physical books. No water bottles, anything like that, because you have expensive equipment and they just don't want stuff tipped over, even if it has a lid on it. That's one of the rules. But you can bring your water bottle and put it in your locker in case you need to get up and go have a drink or whatever, and go to the restroom. The clock doesn't stop. It still is a break, but we kind of figure that they're going to take breaks, right? So we kind of worked that into the questions and how long it takes. But and then you set it, check in, you bring your ID, your name must match your ID exactly. It has to match exactly unless it's your middle name.
So
But
Wendy,
go ahead.
where do we get where does the exam center or the proctor get the name? Is it from the AAPC records?
Mm-hmm.
And if they are incorrect, should they
Contact AAPC.
okay, have it match or the
Yeah,
ID?
so what will happen is once you purchase and schedule, it'll send you a confirmation and your name has to match with what your confirmation says because you bring that confirmation in with you. So let's say that I'm Wendy Day, which is my maiden name, and I had my name changed. So I'm Wendy Willis on my driver's license. I need to make sure I call AAPC and make sure that if my name says Wendy Willis on my ID, that I have it say Wendy Willis or on that confirmation. That's a big thing. And then
That's for both electronic at home
yes, that's for
and
both.
life
Yep.
or proctored
Yep.
facility. Okay.
Exactly. And if you have a hyphenated name and it's a hyphenated on your ID, it has to be hyphenated as well.
Exactly. And if you have
So-
a hyphenated name and it
Uh-oh. I'm hearing this twice. There we go.
My fault.
So you just
That's
check in. You just check in with the proctors at the testing center. They do all of that. They do check to make sure you're not cheating. You don't have anything on your arms. Some of them check your pant legs, make sure you're not slipping anything in. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. Probably mostly college students. They're like, I gotta pass this exam.
Well,
But,
Wendy, we have had over the years, we've done this for decades now, and there are those who take stealing our exam questions. They take it very seriously. They want
Yes.
to have those questions and sell them online.
Absolutely.
And-
And we still see it every day.
Yep.
Every day. It is crazy how people are trying, which is why, and I know that our members feel very, I don't know what word to use, but yeah, we do. We check everything. You check your room. It is what it is. One person can make everybody suffer, which is our whole life, right? I mean, we've learned that since first grade, kindergarten. So,
well, the integrity of AAPC and our credential relies on having
Oh.
those questions being
yes.
held tightly.
Yes, because if we weren't that strict, then what would your credential mean to you? Because, which is why I think we're the highest sought out credential. It's because they know how serious we take it. It's not about the money. I am telling you right now that $400 that you pay for an exam does not cover it. I mean, you're pretty much, if you take our course and then take the exam, you're getting the exam pretty much for free. Because I'm telling you, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to watch all these things and make sure it's done right, and working with our third party with ProctorU and Measure, and it's crazy. It's crazy. But
Yeah.
so you just go in. Go ahead, Dave.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I mean, it's relatively such a small investment that can set you up for such a great career path. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
so-
Yep. And I do see a lot of posts on Facebook about it's just the money with AAPC, and guess what? I can tell you right now, that is not our goal. I can speak for the exams department 100%. I want to see you pass, because then that's my success. If you fail, then I have the CEU or the CEO saying, why is everybody failing? I want to see everybody pass. So, and be successful. So, not that I write the content, but it is our goal. I want to see the faces. I love seeing the posts that says, look at this. So,
yeah, and it is a good measure of, can you now go into the workplace?
yeah.
And even then, there's still so much to do with practicode and just really being able to code real life cases. But this is just that entryway to prove that, hey, okay, I know enough to really get into this industry. So yeah, of course it's gotta be It's got to be
Yeah.
strict, it's got to be difficult, but if you're prepared and you've taken advantage of our courses, you've taken
Yep.
advantage of all the resources, the practice exams, there's
Yeah.
so many good things. You'll actually have a great testing experience, which many do, and it's a hard exam,
Yeah.
but they come away from it passing and loving life and yeah. But those that are
Kaisha,
prepared,
Yeah.
yeah,
you're
please.
not going to pass if you're
If
not
you're not
prepared.
ready.
Or you're trying to cheat your way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah.
Kaisha asked, do we have any board members that secretly have access to the questions? Because she's been approached, it sounds like, by people selling her exam questions beforehand. Our
No.
NAB and CAB, our boards, they do not have access unless
Mm-mm.
they work directly with Catherine Abel's team who
Right.
creates those. It is such a small group of people that have access to those.
Yeah.
There's no way that that's happening. I mean, I cannot fathom that happening.
That, my team specifically doesn't even have access to all the questions. Like Catherine is very tight-shipped with that, man. She is like, no, that not that I could make very much money, but no, unless somebody has done something to cheat and get the questions. And a lot of people, Alex, say, I got the real exam questions or the final exam questions. And really, some of those things, a lot of them that are reported are from the final exam in our course.
Yeah.
So it's really not even the actual certification.
I'm going to say one more thing about this, and then we have so much more to cover.
Yeah.
But if an exam, as soon as we find out that a question has been compromised, we have a bank that, it's
Yep.
out, that question's out, and we work hard, and we've stopped everything back in the days of chapter posted
Yep.
exams, to make sure that the integrity of the questions
Right.
is maintained.
And it's even better electronically because now, as soon as we see it, it's off. Like we don't have to wait for the exam to come back and see it. It is off. Like it is so much better that way for electronic exams.
Let's talk about the chat feature. There's a chat feature in the testing
Platform.
environment platform.
Yeah.
Okay.
So ProctorU, when you check in and get all of that check-in done, which is great now too, because you take a picture of you take a picture of each side of the wall, the back of you, hit okay, I'm ready. A proctor usually comes on and says, okay, this is Wendy Willis, I'm going to be your proctor. And it's a chat feature. So we've had a lot of issues with the language barrier because most of the ones that proctor for us are foreign speaking. And so it is a little difficult, to understand them, which is, again, we listened and we made it a chat feature so that the proctor can still get on and talk with you, but it's mostly chat, and it's up in the left-hand corner, and it'll blink if they want to talk to you, or you can click on it and say, hey, I'm having issues, da da da. So that's that's really good. They don't read the instructions to you anymore. We expect you to go through, know what your rules are and agree to them and go on. So it's awesome. You don't have to, I don't know. Like me going to get my hair done. I want to have a silent appointment. I don't want to talk to anybody. So if you're that type like me, that's a good thing. So
That does not apply to someone going to a measure testing center, or does
correct.
it? Okay,
Correct.
it does not. Okay.
Nope. The testing center is literally like going to your local chapter, but it's on the computer. You do the check-in, they do everything for you, and you just take your exam and hit submit, and you're done. So
Like the DMV.
yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully way
Lovely.
better.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense, the DMV is great.
Yeah.
No.
Can be.
But I just want to throw out there, it is super, super. I cannot impress enough. Please, 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 please read and research everything that we send you. if it's in there, it's been important and and somebody else has had issues with it. I am telling you, I am not a fan of having 50-page email that has instructions on it. I tried to cut it down to 1 page probably 10 years ago, and it's back up to 2. It's because if it's in that email, you need to know it. And if there's links in there, one of the things I wanted to talk about for sure is called the Test It Out. And what you do is you click on that link, and I think I send it to you, Alex. You could post it if you wanted. I can post it later, but it's a link that takes and checks your computer and says you don't have enough CPU, you don't have enough RAM, you can only use one monitor. It tests everything that is included. And if you fail that and can't pass it, don't take the exam at home, because there's so much robust information that goes into a program. The Guardian browser that locks down everything, that's a very robust program. You have like a Zoom type call. You have the exam content that you're loading. So your computer has to be good. And do not go into the exam on a computer that you don't have admin access to. Do not even attempt it, because you'll get kicked out. And
You
then
need that admin
you lose your
access.
voucher, which then everybody gets mad, and it's like, okay, I told you this in all of these emails. You have to watch it. I can't stress that enough.
Being precise in your medical coding journey, which is a part of what you will do, begins with the exam
Yes.
and reading all of those instructions and following through to a T.
Yes. And if
Dave,
you don't get it, there is also a support hotlines, not a chat support, because I'm not a fan of the chat support because it's a bot asking you questions. Like, no, I just want to talk to somebody. You can call Measure, and they will walk, and as somebody will walk you through anything that you have questions on as far as your computer, or anybody at AAPC. I'll help you. Call me. So
I need to ask the birthday boy something. Stephanie, our friend Stephanie Sogren says happy birthday, Dave, which I totally forgot.
is
So
it today?
happy birthday. Is it the other day?
It was 2 days ago. It was on Monday. He has the 25th.
Happy birthday
That's so
to
funny. It's like
you.
the birthday. How do people know? Oh, that's so great. Thank
Everybody knows
you.
Dave.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah.
Uh,
Thanks, Andy.
well,
It was a
birthday
good.
boy.
Yeah.
You in addition to the documentation
Mhm.
that examinees receive, you also have virtual or like video tutorials. Tell us a little bit about those things that you've created.
Yeah, so all of these things that, well, a lot of them that we're talking about as far as requirements to either test at a testing center or to test with a proctor in your own space. Those are all of those instructions we've combined into this really big, Wendy and her team call it the Bible. And we have tutorial videos on what you can expect even the exam to look like. You can simulate going through the actual exam,
I
clicking
love it.
on the actual buttons. It's not the true exam, it's just a simulation, but it allows
Right.
you to get comfortable with it and get the feel of it. And even before you go in there, you can know where you can take notes and where you can
Yep.
save questions, flag them for later, all of that. It goes through every step of the exam. It's such a really good resource. And then let alone, or it also talks about the different requirements and
Yeah.
different things you need depending on what part of the world you're in. And we've
And it
tried to,
walks you through that process, like how to register, how to do that. Dave has done an awesome job with that. And it literally, if you spend, I don't know, how long do you think it is? 10 minutes, maybe? I don't know, maybe a little
yeah,
longer.
maybe a little bit
But
longer. I'd say like a half hour to an hour if
yeah,
you really want to absorb them, because some of those videos
are
um
interactive. Yeah.
yeah, and they're interactive too.
I
So you can
love
kind of
that
do
part. I love that they're interactive, because when you get in that exam, you need to know how to get to the extra documents, or how to open it up to the side that you don't have to keep going back and forth. You can see the answers that are the questions that have been answered. Yeah.
yeah.
We're going to link that too. And it's also in your notice to schedule and confirmation email.
We're gonna link that too.
Measure
Wendy.
also has a ton of links that you can go in and see what's going on with Measure as well, or ProctorU.
Yeah, I was gonna throw that link in the chat, and I got us repeating on the audio on Facebook again. Sorry about that, but I'm throwing it's an open link to that Bible, right? That has all the
Yeah.
instructions. So you can go in there now if you want to and click around and see just see
Yeah,
what
it's
it's all
awesome.
about. Those of you that are going to take your exam tomorrow, if you haven't looked at it, you should probably crack it open.
Yeah.
Wendy, you mentioned the link that I believe you sent this to me that goes over your system metrics and capabilities, your RAM, CPU, things like that. When I clicked on that link, it took me to a page that wants me to log in. It says ProctorU, but wants me to log into something. Is that the right link?
Yeah. So you'll log in with your notice to schedule,
Okay.
username and password, and you can do it from there. I'll try and find the link that's directly to it without logging in. I'll send that over.
So that link will cover RAM, CPU checks, internet speed checks, Guardian browser. What is
Guardian
that?
browser is what we use or what ProctorU uses to lock down your computer so that you don't have other things opening. It literally, if you click off of it, it'll pause your exam. So it's a lockdown security browser that needs to be used for the security of the exam. And it's very robust. So that's one of the things. Even when you do your test it out, make sure it's not just right on the cusp, make sure it's good. I know that one of the best things to do is to, I hear this from IT people all the time and I get mad and turn around and walk off, stomp off. Have you restarted your computer? How many times have we all heard that? I'm like, dang you. And I turn around, I'm like, no, I haven't restarted it for a month, right? So first things first, even before you take the exam, restart your computer, start it back up, close down anything that's not being used. Just make it so it's running really, 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 really sharp. And an external webcam that you can move around is required. No open room concept. So I can't sit in my apartment on my desk and have the kitchen and my bedroom and stuff. That's called an open room concept. You got to be in a 4-wall room that has a door so nobody can come in or out.
And windows, do they need to be covered? Anything like that?
The windows, they don't need to be covered like with a sheet or whatever, but you probably should have your blinds down and then maybe open. They may ask you to, it depends on what type of the situation. I took my exam in my office and I literally removed all the pictures, everything under my desk. I shoved to the corner and put all I had on my desk was my computer and my books. That's it. Like I didn't have all my cutesy little things. I removed everything just so there was no question.
I've read about some members going to a hotel this second, and what do you think about that? I mean, that's a cost, of course.
Right. But a lot of people are like, my kids are running around. There's no way I can do that, which going to a hotel, I think is a good idea. As long as the internet is good where you're at. That would be my only concern about a hotel, is that sometimes you get in there and the hotels are, you got a lot of people on that. And even with your house, like if my grandkids were here and they were streaming Netflix and my husband was on playing games at the same time I was taking my exam, there's probably going to be an issue. You get mad that Netflix goes down, but really it's not Netflix, it's your internet. So I mean, I am one of them. That stupid Netflix and no,
Well,
it's my
your husband keeps playing
internet.
your husband in Fortnite. He's got to stop.
Yeah,
He's got to reel that
gotta
in.
stop that at 55. We gotta stop that stuff.
That's 55. He's getting really
But
good. I see him online all the time. I'm just
yeah, you don't know my husband very well,
yeah, he could be a
but
pro gamer soon, you know.
Hey,
that's another tip is do your test it out at the exact same time that you're going to take your test, right? Like if you're going to take it at noon on a Friday, do a test it out on noon at Friday and make sure you pass. That way, you know, you're kind of in the same situation. We actually had somebody that got on and there was a lot of scuttle about this, but she scheduled her exam at 1 a.m. And when she showed up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, she was like, wait, what? And, you know, there was a lot of scuttle about, well, why did they or I can't remember, but it was people worried about 1 a.m. Who would schedule an exam at 1 a.m.? Why did they even let you? And I just watched 3 people today on a video that was taking the exam at 1 in the morning. And I think it's just some people are night people, right? And the kids are to bed and the dogs are asleep and everything's down, you know, so it does happen.
Hey, we've got 7 minutes left, real quick. The as far as webcam, when I look at webcams on Amazon, it's that little circular cylinder kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you would likely need to have a tripod, I guess. Yes or no?
So what I did is I took my webcam and I clipped it on my that's the exact one I used. I clipped it on my blinds. And that's another important thing to do is make sure. And then I put a piece of tape on my blind because I knew that the proctors were going to say, okay, scan your room. And then I'm going to go, oh, no. So I put a piece of tape on it. And then I just knew exactly that I needed to put it back right there or your tripod. But you do have to see, they need to see your face. Yeah, scan the room. And then when you're taking it, they need to see your books and your face, not so much your computer anymore, but your books and your face kind of to the side. And a lot of proctors, if you're leaning down like this, they'll stop you. They can't see your eyes. They can't see your movements. So that's why they'll interrupt and say, can you make sure your hair is pulled back? Or trying to think, you know, somebody kept going like this, which would be totally me, but they're like, no, I need to see your face at all times. So, and again, that's not the proctor, that's AAPC. So
we've talked about ID.
All the answers on your hand to the entire exam.
Like, oh my goodness.
Let's see.
I would need really bad glasses.
Stressed.
Can you imagine how many answers?
5-3, got
it. We've talked about ID. We've talked about books. I want to talk a little bit about clean desk because you mentioned if you're in the testing center, you may just want to move your keyboard off to the side. This leads me to think about the online scratch pad because you cannot have a hard copy scratch pad and pen with you.
Right.
You can have there's a virtual scratch pad. Would you need your keyboard for that? I guess you would.
You probably would,
but
yeah.
You just bring it back in and then move it out of the way.
But just pull it. Yeah, most of them are all good point there, though. That is a good point. But yeah, you could have, even in the testing centers, you could have your keyboard up and, you know, typing on it. We are going to do a pretty good video. We're planning on doing a video on how to utilize that notepad really well. I've watched a couple of videos of people testing and I have names. So I'm going to reach out to them and say, hey, how, you know, I loved how you used your notepad while taking your exam. Can you help us video something that shows us how to do that? So that's in the plans as well to do that, because it really is pretty simple if you know how to use it. Especially you just put ABC and you mark it out and go, nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. You know, it's A. And then you move to the next one and you have A, B, and C again.
Yeah.
So,
Why, Wendy? Because this question came up on social media. Why are we not allowing examinees to use a pen and paper?
So the biggest reason is we did allow that when post-COVID, right? Just right at the time COVID was going on, we were allowing the white paper or the whiteboard, and it actually is really good. And we actually are still talking about it. Matter of fact, we had a meeting about it last week. But the issue is that you have a writing utensil with you in the exam, which can be used to cheat and has been used and has been caught cheating, putting dots, whatever they writing on your desk. Yes, the proctors can say, hey, will you erase that? And yes, you could, but that doesn't mean that that's going to stop you from writing other things in your books.
Yes. And there's a
So,
calculator in there as well.
oh yeah, there's a
Yeah, okay.
calculator in there, notepad, all your documentation that you would need for the exam.
Okay. Someone asked up above, I haven't ignored you, Kathy Hunter. How far in advance can I schedule my exam?
That's the good thing. Like 3 days in advance, you can schedule it, and it's 24/7. That is such the fabulous thing about electronic at home. If you're prepared, you can take it literally any date. There's like 4 days on their list that are closed, like Christmas, I think, Thanksgiving, New Year's, something like, so literally any day, 7 days a week.
Anytime, apparently. Too.
Anytime. Yeah. 1 in the morning if your brain
Oh.
is still working at that time.
Hey, Catherine mentioned last time that exams are updated for the new year. I mean, they right out of the gate. I just want to verify that.
Yes.
So the guidelines and updates,
Everything.
first exam in 2025, it will
Yep.
have that.
And just kind of a reminder that we have a blackout period for the first 2 weeks. So the first Saturday and the next Saturday, and then that Monday you can start scheduling. But it'll black it all out so you can't schedule. But it's the first 2 weeks in January so that they can make those updates to the practice exams. Everything goes live January 1 as far as updates are going. So in the practice exams, the tests take a little bit. That's why we have the blackout, so we can go in, make all the appropriate updates, which is another thing. Please use your current yearbooks. If you don't have them, please go borrow them. See if the chapter has some that you can borrow. Do something, because if you're like me, you're going to miss questions, and I don't want to miss questions that I could have got right, but I didn't have the right books. Even 1 year old, which we allow, which I've been fighting to require current year, and that's it. I've gotten pushback. So you guys, even if you've taken a 2024 course and you take it in January, borrow those books. Do something.
Yeah, Keisha asked, we can use 2024 books for 25 tests, right? Yes, you can.
Yes.
But if you miss your exam by one question, pass or fail, you will be crushed and thinking, why didn't I just buy those books? You remember that, Dave?
Yes. It's a true story.
This is,
It's not worth it. Yeah, and there's a lot of instructors that will say that too, that have experience with their own students missing a question because of, it was maybe just one of those things that could have been updated. And we try and make sure that it's all of the questions and everything are relevant, obviously, for both years. But I wouldn't take the chance if I were taking an exam, and I would get the electronic version for sure. What does that look like as far as if I were to bring my own books in? I know we've got like no time, but
I know we need lots more time.
Yeah. But as far as the electronic books being in the exam and available to use,
the ebooks,
the physical ones. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ebooks are hot and going right now. We're trying to get those all in for 2025, where you could choose to take it with ebooks or with physical books. And you can change your mind if you're like, no, 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 I don't want to do that. I'm going to use my you can change back and forth. But yeah, ebooks are coming January 1. So that's a good thing for some
So not
people.
not yet, not yet.
No,
but we're
no.
working on it.
We're working on it. Yep.
Okay.
And
right.
probably not even January 1.
Hey,
I'll tease them.
Yeah.
But it's coming, and it's going to be even more convenient. The ebooks are awesome too.
Yep.
Hey, Wendy, if I wanted to schedule my exam 6 months out in advance, can I do that?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
I want to answer. I mean, we've had so many great questions. I want to spend 4 hours just going over all of this with everybody. I want to make sure everybody has their questions answered, and I think we've done a great job. But I think this session, this broadcast will put some examinees at ease.
Yes.
So thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Dave, for creating those awesome videos that do those things.
The second Bible of the world.
Exactly. Some say it's
You're
more
so
true.
important. Yeah, and just I'd like to say, Alex, you can send me all of the questions and my team will try and answer all of them, even if it's a personal email to them. So
okay. How can they find you, Wendy? Should they just connect with you on LinkedIn or?
I would just reach out to info. Yeah, info at, and just if they have specific questions and they want me to help them,
Yeah.
I'm there. I'm
Okay.
there. So
And
I like to solve problems.
Yes, and we throw many at you. Just to reiterate, the Black Friday deal on exams is awesome. The code, the promo code, I'm going to drop it in the chat right now. And if you go to apc.com, go to the Black Friday deals, you can find it and it'll link you to there. But use that code and then it'll get you that. We don't.
And I hate
offer
to
this
sound like
often.
this, but it will not be this cheap probably ever again. Like I am really telling you, I'm not a salesman. I hate salesmen, but I'm telling you that I don't hate them all, but it is a great deal and it's never been this good and it won't be that good again. So
yes. And I hope that our members realize and see that we want every one of you to succeed in your careers and pass your exams. Wendy, like I feel that exude from you, and I know Dave and his desire for everybody to just do well in their careers. There's nothing we want more for you guys. So with that, I think that's a wrap, folks.
That's a wrap.
Okay.
Click.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving too, everyone.
Yes.
Whether it's vegan or non-vegan.
Yes. Enjoy that.
It's full of love.
Yes.
Wendy, Dave, hang on while we disconnect. But everybody, thanks so much for watching. Have a great Thanksgiving. And we were only, Dave and I talked about this last time. We're going to have one webcast in December. And because the second one would land on Christmas Day. And Dave has presents to open.
Come on, Dave, give it up, man.
I was planning on being here Christmas Day, so we can open presents together if you want.
That would be fun.
Okay, we'll see everybody later. Have a great holiday, everybody.